Welcome to the Daily Market Recap. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. The market closed lower as investors hit the brakes on high-flying AI and semiconductor stocks. Concerns over heavy AI spending, rising debt, and expectations for a more hawkish Federal Reserve weighed on sentiment. SPY slipped while QQQ led the decline as chip names came under pressure. It was a classic risk-off session with traders locking in profits after months of strong gains. Technology and semiconductors were the weakest sectors of the day, dragged down by major AI and memory chip companies. Defensive groups like healthcare held up better, while financials were mixed. Small caps also lost ground as investors reduced risk exposure across the board. The Fear and Greed Index stands at 28, firmly in the fear zone. Investors are becoming more cautious as volatility rises and concerns around valuations return to center stage. The biggest story of the day was the sharp sell-off in AI and semiconductor stocks. Investors questioned whether massive spending on AI infrastructure is sustainable, sending chip makers lower and weighing heavily on the broader tech sector. Expectations for additional rate hikes increased as investors digested recent Federal Reserve signals. Higher rates could pressure growth stocks and reduce appetite for richly valued technology companies. Investors are eagerly awaiting Micron's earnings report, which could provide a key read on AI-related memory demand. The results are expected to influence sentiment across the semiconductor industry. Let's check out the stocks making the biggest moves today. Some names surged on company-specific news, while others got caught in the broader tech sell-off. Mass rallied strongly as investors piled into the stock. QNT posted impressive gains on renewed momentum. INFQ continued its upward trend with strong buying activity, while CURE jumped after attracting fresh investor interest. Prim was among the worst performers of the day. FLNC extended recent losses as sentiment weakened. MU dropped sharply ahead of earnings amid semiconductor weakness, and SNDK also slid as investors reduced exposure to chip-related names. SPY remains under pressure after today's decline. Key support sits around 730 while resistance is near 750. Bulls will want to see buyers defend the lower range quickly. QQQ continues to face selling pressure after the semiconductor rout. Support is around 620 while resistance is near 650. The next few sessions could determine whether tech resumes leadership or enters a deeper correction. IWM is holding up better than technology but remains vulnerable to broader risk-off sentiment. Support is around 295 while resistance sits near 305. Bitcoin traded relatively stable despite the risk-off mood in equities. Traders are watching support around 100,000 and resistance near 11,000 as the cryptocurrency consolidates after a strong rally. Ethereum remains resilient and continues to benefit from strong ecosystem activity. Key support is near 2,400 while resistance sits around 2,800 as traders look for the next breakout. The broader altcoin market was mixed today. Some high beta tokens outperformed while others tracked the weakness in risk assets. Overall sentiment remains cautious but constructive as investors wait for the next catalyst. Today's mood was cautious. Investors are reassessing AI valuations, watching interest rates closely, and looking for confirmation that earnings growth can justify lofty expectations. Fear is elevated, but long-term optimism remains alive. Keep an eye on Micron earnings, Federal Reserve commentary, and whether buyers step back into technology stocks. Those events could set the tone for the next trading session.